Pod Chef. Three amigos.
Welcome to Pod Chef, the only official Top Chef rewatch podcast. We're deep into season 2. Thank you so much for listening to us. I am your host, Reeves. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Jamal and Brian. Guys, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
I'm also doing well.
Great, that's over. So what did you guys have for dinner last night?
Chefs, I prepared for you. Let me remember. Let me get this right because it's tricky. Cajun and lime salmon, sweet potato mash. Again, going through the big dish, and this time grilled asparagus. There's your new. There's your
Was
new.
that what you
Brian.
had last night, or did you have, or because you text us a picture of this, or did you have it 2
Yeah,
days in a row?
I've had it all week, Brian. I cooked for
Wow.
the week.
Okay.
Damn, son.
That sounds really good. I gotta ask though, how's that pee? How's that pee?
Oh, it stinks.
Yeah, how
stinks.
it stank.
It fucking
You
stank.
got that stanky pee.
Yeah, I got that stanky Pete out.
What
Oh,
a
no.
weird thing that asparagus does.
I will say it is a sign that I'm probably like my liver's working because I drink a lot of water. So like anything that changes it, I'll like smell it. Like what was the other day? Like I had like cookies and I could smell it when I was peeing. I was like, what?
I don't know if that's good.
That
What?
sounds unhealthy. You should talk to your
it's
doctor
fine.
about
No,
that.
it's fine. It's fine. Trust me, it's fine. I was like, why am I smelling sugar cookies right now? Also, I just want to know it's not a tray bake. It was not a tray baker. It was cooked separately. So
Wait, so what? Nothing was cooked in the oven?
only the salmon was put in the oven. The asparagus was
Oh, okay,
grilled
it was grilled.
on a cast iron grill skillet.
I see. So that isn't a true tray bake because not
Yeah,
all your components weren't put in
Yeah.
the bake.
and the
Okay.
sweet potatoes were cooked on the stove as well. So
Gotcha.
Okay.
Brian, just say pizza so we can get to it. Go
No,
ahead.
I didn't have pizza.
Jesus,
Ooh.
sloppy
Chefs.
joes, sloppy
So
joes.
nope, I didn't have Sloppy Joes. There's a new thing happening in my household.
Oh boy.
And my wife loves when I talk about real things, so she's gonna fucking kick my ass later. Is now my wife does this thing, is she says, "Are you recording tonight?" Or she says like, "Are you recording tomorrow?" And if I say yes, then she makes it a point to cook
Nice.
something. It's something new that's going to
Nice.
happen now because I have
Nice.
apparently embarrassed her.
Nice. Well, she got that promotion, so
So,
she can't be out in these streets looking like any kind of way. She's got to be
Because-
like, my man's a reflection of me.
What we had last night, chefs, what we prepared for you, was some kind of enchilada rice thing that we made in the Instant Pot. It had rice, enchilada sauce, red pepper, jalapeno, ginger, your onion,
Full
cheese,
roster's here.
that sort of thing.
What
and it
you're
was
saying is the full
pretty good.
roster is here.
Yeah,
Good.
and it was good. And it was an Instant Pot. Hey, everybody, Instant Pots are great.
So, Brian, if you could summarize that whole dinner into one fluid sentence, what would it be? Instapot enchilada night. Right.
It was an Instant Pot
So
enchilada night.
that's where we. So now you've upped your game of what you're eating before we record, but now we want to up the secondary game of you're presenting it for the audience. I've been getting a lot of feedback, and people say that your food is very long-winded. They get lost in like what the hell you're eating. They wish they could have a nice, concise like list of what it is you had. So I'm just saying, I'm just giving you there's a little bit of feedback there for you.
You're right. Me saying sloppy joes is too long-winded.
Well, they have been saying that when they hear that they start laughing so much that they turn off the podcast because they're like, "Oh, this is not a real thing." So,
Are you sure that they're not saying long-winded as they can hear me breathing very heavily when I talk? Is that what long-winded means?
Well, I didn't want to bring that up, but that's also
I cut most of those, by the way.
all the deep breaths.
So if you have comments or criticisms, you can leave us a comment on Apple Podcast. So far, we mainly have comments for the people that have hosted this show, which is just the three of us.
Wait, did
Most
we get a new?
recently-
Oh,
yeah,
we
we
didn't?
have one from Jamal.
Who's that? Sounds like a nice guy.
Jamal left us one, which is very nice. My wife has left one. Brian,
Well,
I'm
read
pretty
mine.
sure, has left
Read mine.
one.
Read mine.
We're going to read yours.
Yeah, read mine.
So he says, these hosts are cooking with fire. This is by Afro Samurai.
I love learning people's
Tonight-
screen names.
Tonight, I prepare for you rotisserie chicken breast, jewel sweet potato mash, garlic, spinach, 5 stars.
That's a fucking concise review right there. That's what I'm talking about, Brian.
Cooking with fire is a funny term because that's like the only way to cook.
Not tartar. Not
These
tartar.
hosts are doing the bare minimum to cook.
I'm gonna make a new account and leave that as the review.
Please give us negative reviews. All right, Reeves, what did you have? What did you prepare for us for dinner last night?
I did what did I had? So we had Brussels sprouts, roasted Brussels sprouts, just your basic, throw it in the oven, put some oil, some salt and pepper on it. So we had that, and then what did I do? We had salmon, and I cooked it on the stove, which I do pretty well. I got the timing of that down pretty perfectly. No bleeding out of the sides of that goopy protein.
I have a question. Does your house then smell like fish when you cook it on the stove? That's why I stopped cooking it on the stove.
For a little bit, I always put the fan on high.
Oh yeah, you have a filtration. I don't have that.
Yes, the
That makes
fan
sense.
helps. Yeah,
Yeah,
but for a little bit, yeah. And then also, if you clean it down afterwards, then usually you can get around that gross fishy smell.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we got to freaking talk about Jamal's report card now.
Yeah, we do.
We promised it.
Tom dropped it off last week after he did his weird stop by.
He came by again.
His stop and chat. No. Last week he stopped by and did an unannounced stop and chat, and the most normal thing he did was give me this report card, which I forgot about. I was supposed to share it last time, but it was so crazy to recap his story of like what the hell he was talking about when he was here.
Well, it was normal that he gave it to you, but he gave it to you in an abnormal way, though, right?
Yeah, well, I don't. Do we have to talk about that?
I mean, we just quickly he told you to reach into his pocket, right?
He said, "Reach in there and get some candy." Didn't he?
He did, and the thing that bothers me is that I reached into the wrong pocket.
And what was in that
So-
pocket first?
Well,
It was a hot pocket, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a hot pocket.
No, those are so hot.
Yeah, it was piping hot. It was like burned my fingers. But then I reached into his other pocket, and there was rolled up like a diploma with a ribbon on it. My
Oh, wow.
report card. So I've got my report card. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. You just want me to just read out the report card and the grades, and then a little. He left a side comment on every one of them, which is they kind of bother me. But
Yeah,
I mean,
let's-
we already know that it's pretty good because he already told me that I'm hosting next season. So
it must be good. So
yeah,
it sounds like you're going to go to the ski trip.
yeah, I'm hoping. I'm not much of a skier because I have a torn ACL, so that's pretty dangerous for me. But I do like the atmosphere of a ski resort, ski lodge. I'm one of
You
those
love ski
dudes.
bunnies, right?
Oh, ski bunnies.
You love the bunnies.
Hey.
Yeah. Hanging
Hey.
out in the lodge next to the fire, some hot cocoa.
I get my
checking out the
Canon.
bunnies.
I get my Canon 3D out. I'm doing nothing but scoping out the ski bunnies.
You tell everybody that you're nature watching, and they go, "Oh, you're looking
Yeah.
for it." And you say snow bunnies.
I say these endangered species.
And to
So-
our fans at home, he really does take pictures of actual snow bunny animals.
They're beautiful.
Yeah,
They're
yeah, they are.
beautiful
They,
shots.
they have a luscious coat. It's actually, and here's a fun fact: their skin is actually black. So
Mm.
underneath that coat, like polar bears. All right. Yeah,
Think about that, listeners.
think about that, listeners. Okay, so I'll just go through this and we'll read my report card. Okay. Let me just open it. I haven't. So it's double rolled. Okay.
Oh wait, what's on
let's-
the other side? There's a picture on the other side of it.
it's Tom in blackface. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh no.
I don't want to
Why?
talk about it. I
He
don't
did
want to
that?
talk about it. I do not want to talk about it.
Okay.
It's unbelievably inappropriate. Okay.
Okay.
He's wearing a New Era cap and everything. I cannot
Oh no.
take it.
It's just a New Era brand cap. It's not
Yeah.
for a team.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a New Era cap.
He's
There's
like,
no-
I support the New Eras. He thinks it's
Yeah.
a football team.
Well, I have a hat that's a New Era cap that has no team on it. It just has the logo on the left side because I wanted it blank. So he has that kind of hat on, and just the gesture he's making. I don't want to talk about it.
All right.
No.
And the worst part is on the back of it, underneath it says Happy Black History Month. All right, let's. So the first one on the report card is co-hosting commentary.
Okay, that's a
Mm,
good. That's a yeah.
Right?
That's a very necessary
solid category.
category.
And it says this threw me off because already the grades were weird. It says, I think this is a minus, but it says minus B. Instead of B minus, it says minus B.
Minus B.
And then that he wrote on the side, he said, remove Brian.
Oh no. Wow. He took that as an opportunity to
Yeah.
undercut Brian. And it's not even Brian's report card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that threw me off. When I first read that, I was like, okay, is this my report card or is this Brian's report card?
Yeah.
You do all this crazy shit and bring the wrong report card, but he goes on.
Okay.
He's like, co-hosting would be great if it could be minus B. And I was like, well, that's a weird grade to give me because that's like a grade you would give Brian. Next one is cooking knowledge.
Mm.
And this one I got an A.
Oh,
And
awesome.
I got an A on cooking knowledge. And then
That's terrific.
well, it's kind of terrific, but I'm kind of, when I read the comment, it kind of hits differently because it says cooking knowledge, A little goes a long way.
Hmm.
So my question is he like taking a stab at me like I only know a little bit?
Seems like a backhanded compliment.
Right? A backhanded like you cooking knowledge. I'll give you an A because a little goes a long way.
Because a little goes
Yeah,
a long way.
Yeah, so whatever, Tom. I'll take the A.
Yeah, you take this
So
A.
yeah, I'm doing good so far.
It seems to me like you are on. You might as well start packing your bags for the ski trip.
Yeah, I mean, right now
Yeah.
I'm getting fitted for some short skis so I can go down the what's that?
Long
What are
slopes.
those? Yeah, the long slopes. There we go.
Yeah,
There we go.
the triple diamond slopes. I
Yeah,
mean, you
triple
basically
diamond.
are on the honor roll right now because you have an A and then a grade that's a comment on Brian. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's
Yeah, so far I'm at a
basically a
4.0.
4.0. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next one is chemistry. Ooh, chemistry. And this one is a W because I withdrew. I hate chemistry. I'm not good at that class. I've never been good at chemistry. So next one is podcast promoting.
I just think that it's interesting that chemistry it meant the science portion of chemistry
Yeah.
and not like chemistry with the other, hosts of the podcast.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But then I thought, well, in a way, I've kind of withdrew from that as well. When you really
Okay.
think about it, I've kind of withdrew from forming any kind of chemistry with you guys out of my own, because the rule is not to fall in love. And if we start getting too much chemistry,
Yeah,
I'm in
that's
trouble.
gonna happen.
So-
Yeah.
Okay. So that's probably
So-
for the best.
Yeah. So the next one is podcast promoting. What do you guys think I got on this?
Well, the other week I had to tell you to make a post for the Instagram account, and you gave me shit about it, like I was asking for too much.
Yep.
So I'm gonna say that your grade is not good.
I got an A.
Seriously?
I got an
Okay.
A, and the comment is a little goes a long way.
Okay.
Okay. So he reused the same.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like he gave the last grade and then he started grading more and he was like, oh, this is a lot of work. I can reuse a couple
Yeah.
just to keep this going.
Well, he
Maybe
also
it's- is it-
follows us on Instagram, so he knows that there's not that much promoting been going. So I think it's another backhanded compliment.
Well, let's just back the truck up just a second. I did work really hard on the picture that I posted on our Instagram for this
Hey,
week's last week's
looks
episode.
great. Looks great.
I edited, and what the hardest part was finding free editing software to make it.
Well, it looks great. All the effort you put into that looks great. Tom left a message on the side of here that says it wouldn't kill you to promote more than once or twice a week of the same episode. So that's why he put a little goes a long way.
That's what Charlie said too.
Yeah. So I'm starting to think that Tom outsourced our friend Charlie.
Reeves is in the picture. Reeves, I photoshopped Tom Colicchio's head onto the body of Malibu's Most Wanted on the cover of Malibu's Most Wanted. Then I took out the title of Malibu's Most Wanted and put the Pod Chef logo.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
It's a fitting image for the start of Black History Month too.
Let's go.
Yes, the most racially sensitive movie ever made.
Yep.
Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yeah, it sends the right message.
I'm gonna put his head on Robert Downey Jr.'s head from
Meet the Fockers.
No,
you say Meet the Fockers.
Tropic Thunder.
Yeah,
which by the way is my favorite movie.
It's pretty funny.
I'm not even making a joke. It is my favorite movie.
Never seen it.
It's incredibly offensive.
And finally, they finally go at
Hollywood. Next category, which is one that I'm not gonna lie, stumped me, but then when I look back on how Tom acted when he delivered this and like what was on the back of my report card, kind of makes sense. The next category is rapping. Which I was like, well, I can't possibly get a grade on this. I haven't rapped. Unless he means like rapping, like shooting the shit. But but I have not rapped
forth
on the podcast, nor will I. So
no, I don't think anyone's rapped on the podcast.
Not yet.
Harold did.
Harold
did?
Reeves,
Harold might have too. I think Harold did rap.
Well, Harold rapped with all of us.
That's true.
So my grade on this is incomplete.
Yeah.
And I guess, do I have to read the comment, or can we just move to the next one?
I think we need to hear it. I mean, I sympathize with you. I think it's unfair to grade you on something you didn't even know you had to do.
Yeah. The comment is, "Come on, dog." And that's how it's written. That's how it's written too. In that font.
C''M''O''N.
Yeah.
So DAWG.
Yeah. So right now I only have 2 real grades, which is,
but they're both good. The 2 real grades
are technically good, but they are like a way to like backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
So the last one I think is the same one that Reeves had, which is
attractiveness,
comedy.
Oh yes,
yeah, it was comedy.
This one's important.
Comedy.
So what do you guys think I got on this one? I mean, you guys have known me. We've all done live comedy together. We've done scripted comedy. We've done film. What's up? Podcasting now. What do you guys think I got on the comedy angle?
I mean, I feel like you should probably get an A, right? Some pretty funny stuff coming out.
Yeah. I would
Jesus
think. Well, no. So I want to think about this. So I would think that it's an A, but it's not me grading you. It's Tom, and we know, that he can be a little fickle, you know. And he likes to take people down a peg too. If he feels like maybe you're being too funny, he might give you a grade just because he feels threatened.
That sounds like Tom.
So I'm guessing that the grade is an F from Tom.
No, the grade is an A.
And it's a little too late too.
Well, no, the grade is an A, and the comment is ... for effort. So
oh no. Jeez.
I think it sounds like Tom got confused, because I know sometimes I confuse effect and affect, and he confused effort and affect.
Yeah,
which happens.
Effect and affect. That's hard. There are other ones.
Yeah.
Well, because
I
he,
say tomato. Some people say tornado. That kind of stuff. Hard.
Okay, well, it's an A for effort. It sounds like
Yeah.
you're going on the freaking ski trip.
Yeah, I mean, I've got
Well,
a
I'm seeing
4.0 still, so yeah. So that's my report card. He did leave a little note at the end saying he enjoys me on the podcast. He's looking forward to hearing more from me next season, and again, start brainstorming on ways to remove Brian. So
Wow.
All right, well, he doubled up on it.
yeah,
Jeez.
Brian, think on the bright side. You did not get a picture of him in blackface saying Happy Black History Month. So there
Why
is.
would you do that?
Yeah, I don't really know. But yeah. So that's my report card. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to the ski trip. Can't wait. So
Well,
That's
just don't
exciting.
have the same problem that Reeves had.
Yeah, I had lots of problems on the ski trip, so hopefully yours, because you're going this weekend. Hopefully it'll be.
yeah, I'm going this
Be
weekend
smoother.
for 2 days only. Friday and Saturday. I got to be back for the big game.
The big game, baby. We should talk to Harold about it.
He loves football, and I remember he gave your boy Tom a hard time. He didn't
Yeah, he
think
did.
Mhm.
And
didn't
now
think
look, I need
Tampa
to
Bay
send.
could
I'm
do it.
gonna I'm sending Harold a message.
And
I'm
I'd
gonna
messaged
email
him
him.
on the Podchef Instagram account, but he doesn't follow us back.
Ah,
No, he's supposed to be our friend.
Well, you know what? Friends can sometimes be distant, and maybe it's just taking him a little bit of time to be a little bit more vulnerable with us before he gives us a follow back. And that's understandable. These are hard
Yeah.
times.
Yeah, these are tough
Yeah.
times.
Yeah. I won't take it to heart. I will be watching my back for getting removed from the show, though. Apparently, I'm on the chopping block.
I mean, this was news to me. How much he
Yeah.
really wants to come after you.
And I mean, I feel like your report card, when you get it, I'm kind of fearful for what's going to come at you.
I guess I'll be on the lookout for him showing up at my door looking like Malibu's Most Wanted.
Hey, that's how you used to dress, right? With the hat and the 2 earrings.
I only had one earring.
It was one earring, Jamal.
And
So
it wasn't a diamond stud, it was a hoop.
It was a
Ooh,
hoop
boy.
like the genie from Aladdin.
Yeah,
It was a gold hoop.
like Michael Jordan.
Yeah, it's like Michael Jordan.
I was gonna grow up and be like Mike.
Is it time to talk about the episode?
I
Yeah,
think so. Let's dig into it. Welcome back, listeners who skipped through our talking at the top just to get a review of the episode.
Can you imagine people did that?
I can. I mean, it would be, you know, it would be weirder if people were listening to this show to get a review of Top Chef.
That's what I was thinking.
That's
Like-
we're not weird. They're weird for doing that.
Like maybe when the new season comes out and there's actually like something people want to talk about that's not 14 years old,
Yeah,
they'll like want to get to the review. But for now, the only people I know who listen to this podcast are Carrie and Ginny, and they don't watch Top Chef.
They're not watching the episode.
They're not rewatching.
Although sometimes when I'm watching it, Jenny will watch it with me, and she says
You're
it
gonna
does against the podcast.
you gotta put this on Reddit.
It doesn't. I've tried and I can't get any traction on there.
Really? Yeah, put it in the Wall Street Bets.
Okay, and that's pretty close to the joke I was gonna make. Put in like post and start with diamond, rocket, hands up, hold you MFers. BTW just checked out this new podcast. Wow, so many great tips on how to lose money. I meant win money. Yeah, there's a lot of rubes on there. So yeah, you should post.
You should post it. When it opens back up, put it in there. Just slide
Alright.
it in there. Slide in there.
All right. Did we like this episode of Top Chef? It's called Unhappy Campers, and it's episode 10 of season 2.
You betcha.
I don't want to like start something here, but I think it's my favorite episode.
Okay.
Okay. And this
Yeah,
one has
last
dethroned
week-
the others.
I don't think I've said it before. Pretty sure.
You said it last week and the week before. It seems like every week the new episode becomes your favorite episode.
Hey, I'm living in the present.
That's how I live too.
I like to live in the distant future. which in this future, the world has exploded. So
That's not that far off. That's not
I
that distant.
basically that's true. Not too distant. Just future.
You're like 5 years is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Over under 5 years, the world exploding.
Yeah.
That's another thing you can post in the Reddit Wall Street Bets. The over under on when the world is going to explode. Rocket, Diamond Hands. Listen, you rubes.
They're trying to censor us, dude.
Jamal has his censor mask on.
I'm trying to get into the Reddit. They're trying to censor us, dude.
This episode starts with a fantastic bit of production in that they start talking about how Mike has made Top Chef history by winning the episode, they call it, because he won the quickfire and the elimination challenge. And that probably means he's going to do really well this episode, I think. I think that probably means that he's set up for greatness.
He's basically cruising into the final in classic reality TV fashion. They're really setting him up for failure along with anytime. Actually, as it goes on, Top Chef gets better about like trying to confuse you on who's doing well and who's not. But like this is pretty standard reality TV of like the team that's like, we're great, we love each other, we're doing so well. Shits the bed. I guess they both shit the bed. But anyway, we'll get into it.
Everyone's downstairs hanging out except for Marcel, who is on the roof.
Yes.
And maybe you're wondering why he's on the roof. Someone says that maybe he's crying. Someone, Alon, I think, says that he's trying to jump, which trying is an odd thing to do. But those are wrong guesses. And I know everyone else at home is trying to guess what he did because you guys aren't watching the episode along. And I doubt that you guessed what he was doing. And what he was doing, he was rapping. He was doing a rap.
He's doing a freaking rap. Let's hear it, baby.
I'd like to tell you a little bit about something I just wrote. It's called These People, for all the haters out there. As soon as I came to the spot, you started trying to make me out to be something I'm not. It's taken every ounce that I got, not to pop you in the face. And you have no grounds to base your accusations off of, because your building's built on quicksand. You say my food lacks fundamentals like salt and pepper, and I'm like, yo man, whatever. I don't even get stressed because I know at the end of the day, my food is soigné.
So let's grade Marcel's rap. Jamal got graded on rapping. Let's grade Marcel's rap.
Timely and also embarrassing for me because
was that better than how Jamal raps, or how you would imagine Jamal raps since he hasn't rapped on the show?
I'm gonna go first and say yes, it's better.
That it's better.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's light years ahead of me.
I'm gonna say it's better too. I haven't heard Jamal rap before, and I thought Marcel's rap. The best art is art that comes from deep in the soul, something that has happened to you, your feelings, if you're being bullied by a bunch of other peers, stuff like that. And that's what he wrote about. So I liked it and I thought it was good, and I can't wait for his album.
Yeah, he still hasn't finished it.
No, I think he posted it and then he took it back down to make changes.
Yeah, he put it to SoundCloud.
He considers himself a bit of a Kanye,
Mm-hmm.
which does rhyme with Swanye.
Mm-hmm.
Which my rhyming just then was the best rhyme that we've heard today. So this rap really sucked, and I don't believe that he wrote it at all. There's no way that he wrote this down. If he took the time to write this and this is what he came up with, because he makes it a point to when he says pepper to say peppa. He stops. He literally says like is salt and peppa. And then when he does his rhyme, he rhymes it with whatever, with a hard R. Pepper by itself rhymes with whatever somewhat. If he had kept it pepper and then said whatever, that almost kind of works. But he said peppa and then whatever. You just got to say whatever. That's all you have to do to make that work. He didn't even, that's the most basic thing. It was so bad.
You just took him to school.
And you know what? Now I want to bully Marcel.
It does feel like you're maybe bullying him right now.
I felt bad for him, and now I want to bully him.
Yeah.
You know, the last episode when people were bullying him, you kind of felt bad. But then this episode, you know, I kind of realized he instigates a lot of stuff, so I stopped feeling bad for him.
I just think he's a friggin' nerd and needs to get a swirly.
Yeah. Well, he really does get attacked from all angles, because prior to him doing the rap, you see him on the roof, and it's kind of like a wide shot of him like kind of hanging out up there, and then slowly like kind of like a group of ninjas kind of descend on him from all angles. And he starts kind of fighting them off, and he's like really confident, like in that Marcel way where he's like beating them and knocking them off, and he's just kind of like, come on guys, you can't beat me.
And then I believe you. There's a cut back to it, and he's still fighting, and like one of the ninjas kicks one of his knives off his hand, and he goes, and you hear him go, ah! Like he lets out a big.
Well, he says, "Damn!"
He's like,
says,
"Damn!"
And then, but then, you know, everyone kind of feels bad for him, and he ends up in the tub. And he's in the tub, and he's hurt. And then the whole house burns down.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we probably should have led with that. The house. These ninjas, which, I mean, listen, we'll find out later. Tom sent them burn down the house. So they got to go somewhere else. They got to go live out in the country somewhere. I guess like Alon or Aaliyah or someone has like a farmhouse that they were able to drive out.
Elia has the farmhouse.
That's right. Elia has the farm. She was also drawing a picture of him too a little bit later.
Yeah, barefoot.
Barefoot. Yeah, that's right.
All right, it's time for Restaurant Wars. And that's a callback.
Well, it's good that when Marcel did get back, you knew he was okay, because out of nowhere he yells, "God, I love being a chef!"
Yep. That's right.
And then Vanilla Ice starts playing, and we go on to the next movie. So then we get a quickfire challenge, and it's one of my favorite quickfire things that they do on Top Chef, and it's a fucking commercial. I love when the quickfire challenges are commercials. This is the Kraft Gourmet Snack Challenge, which means they need to make a snack with Kraft Gourmet sauces. There's mayonnaise, there's zesty Italian, there's barbecue, and they have to say each one of them because it's a fucking commercial.
And they pan by every single bottle, and you see those tasty, zesty Italians that have all of the spices and everything have floated to the bottom. So it's just this gross oil at the top.
I should have shaken them up.
Looks gross. But yeah, they have to use those in their the gourmet snack that they're going to try and make. So they have a variety of different sauces and products they can use. Some of the contestants are kind of like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but Sam is like, this is right up my alley.
I love mayonnaise, so kind of excited. I went to culinary school. My parents paid tons of money, and I came out with a deep love of mayonnaise.
What is his reasoning? He says he went to culinary school, and then inaudible. So I have a deep love of mayonnaise.
He said his parents have tons of money.
He said his parents,
tons of money.
His parents paid for him to go to culinary school, and he came out with a love of mayonnaise. Can you imagine being his parents and hearing that? Or after, he gets his chef hat and they're like, what are you going to do now? He's like, I'm going to eat a lot of mayonnaise and cook with mayonnaise. They're like, what do you mean to spend all this money to send you to freaking CIA to just love mayonnaise? You can love mayonnaise whenever you want.
Yeah. You don't need to go to school to love mayonnaise. I didn't do it.
Yeah. Do you like mayonnaise? You guys like mayonnaise?
I hate it.
It's a condiment, so Jamal hates it.
Yeah,
that's right.
But do you want to know something? I've never had homemade, like real in your house mayonnaise, which I've seen made on YouTube, and it actually looks much better than what's in the store. But I've never had it, and the smell of it kind of makes me gag. Even though it's just eggs and oil.
I've also never had homemade mayonnaise, but I fucking love mayonnaise.
Well, Brian, you
I
should
think
try
it's-
some homemade.
This is one of those things where, like, if I weren't fat, it'd be funny. But as a fat guy, I'd be like, I love mayonnaise. Everyone's like, yeah, of course, you fucking fat ass.
I don't know anyone saying that.
It's like things that you can't say as a fat guy. You can't be like, oh man, I eat everything. Everyone's like, yeah, of course you do. But if someone else said it, they're like, oh, that's kind of cute. How quirky.
How quirky.
I fucking love mayonnaise. I put that shit on everything.
All right, well, I'm gonna send you a video of what homemade mayonnaise looks like. It's all like
Homemade mayonnaise is
it
pretty
looks
nice.
like. Yeah, it looks like cream cheese almost. It looks actually appetizing.
Love cream cheese too.
Yeah, I think that's maybe what Sam was kind of referring to, because like any like cooking book or like cooking class or whatever that you take, they usually do show you how to make mayonnaise. It's like one of those like 101 French cooking kind of things. So I think that's probably more of what he was referring to versus craft jarred squirt bottle mayonnaise, or in, you know, I don't know, you know, so other people that were on the show had mayonnaise out of a jar, which out of a can. That's what
Ooh,
Yeah,
canned mayonnaise. Yummy.
Mike says. He's popping up a can of mayonnaise.
He loves mayonnaise. He eats it out of the can. Could you imagine how teeny that would taste?
Oh boy, yeah, gross. He's like, I just drink it out of the can, bro. I think he's thinking of beer. That's probably what it was.
That's about the same. That's about the same tone he used when he was talking about his food. He's like, I don't know, I like it.
Oh, Mike also can't say Chipotle. He says it like everyone in my family does.
He says it like a standard American.
They got one of them Chipotles in Salisbury, Maryland now. I'm like, fucking mom, it's Chipotle.
And then even when hearing someone say it, they're like, I'll just keep saying it the way I want to say it.
Yeah, he just gets a
Like,
little.
look.
She's so fed up with a couple of people on this show. She's like, these fucking morons. Like, I could do better than half the people on this show.
Yeah. It's like when she has to tell someone, what are we eating?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, right. Let me tell you what I just put in front of your face.
Alon tries to make fun of Marcel by making zesty Italian foam, but he fails at it, and so I think Marcel gets the last laugh. But Marcel did a really bad rap earlier, so Alon still wins. There are two winners of this who get a special prize, which is a nice ADR by Padma. You hear 2 winners get a special prize, not recorded on the same day at all, and that is Sam and Marcel. Sam made something with mayonnaise, and Marcel made lamb kebabs with a mayonnaise dipping sauce, which doesn't really seem like the challenge, but he wins.
Sam made Southern Craft sandwich with tempura shrimp, pickled peaches, and barbecue aioli.
That's right. That sounds good.
And
Yeah.
Marcel made lamb kebab with curried Kraft mayo, endives, and tomatoes.
Yeah,
Who doesn't like meat on a stick?
that's right.
Cowabunga, bro.
So they win, and their special prize is that they are the team leaders of what is ostensibly Restaurant Wars. I don't know why they don't say it on the show.
So yeah, so they break up into teams. Marcel picks Cliff and Aaliyah, and Sam picks Alon and Mike. They head out in their RAV4s, which, I mean, it's mentioned so much RAV4 throughout the series, not just this season. They head out to the restaurant, which is, I mean, under construction is an understatement. It is like, I feel like they didn't shoot the roof because there was no roof on it. It was like nothing was painted. It looked like garbage.
I mean, they had just broken ground on this space, I think, the day before. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a real mess. They so since it's Restaurant Wars, they have to come up with an entire concept and decorate the place. Marcel's team says they're going to be Medi, which is a Mediterranean place, which they later change to MEC, which stands for, what does that stand for? Wait, I thought it was something upscale diner. It doesn't make any sense at all.
Marcel, Elia, Cliff.
Is that what it's called?
Whoa.
My God.
I like that because the other team did a very similar thing where it's like, let's just combine our girlfriends' names.
Yeah.
Yeah. La
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 lina.
lina.
La la lina
La
Italiana.
la lina.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we get it, Samuel and Mike. You have girlfriends. Cool.
Yeah. Really throwing
Yeah.
it in Marcel's face again.
Yeah. Marcel was in the other car, like, I hope they don't make their restaurant name after the fact that they get laid.
In his
But what
face.
was actually funny in that other car is when they say who wants to be front of the house, and Cliff is like, I'll do front of the house, and Elia and Marcel both look at Cliff like, you sure? And he's like, yeah, I can do it. They both are like, but you're bald. Do we want a bald guy in front of the house? And Elia keeps questioning Cliff and is like, what makes this is what she said for real in the show. What about why do you want to be front of the house so bad? And he's like, oh, I do it in my restaurant all the time. It's all me. And she's still like, but you're bald.
It's
Points right at him.
Yeah,
She
she's
said,
like, but
you
have
are
no
bald.
hair. You have no hair. Someone who's going to be out there greeting customers needs to have hair.
Hmm.
yeah, in a rare occurrence in Top Chef, they fight over who's gonna be front of house. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to be front of house. It's very weird. And then they go shopping for things. Mike goes to the store for his team to buy cutlery. Again, we're buying cutlery. Now it makes sense. They're doing Restaurant Wars, you're supposed to buy cutlery for this. His teammates go to the store to buy food, and they run out of money to buy wine for their Italian restaurant, and they're just like, it's fine, we're gonna go with it, it's fine.
Yeah, an
Yeah.
Italian restaurant without wine. Okay, why don't you give me
Yeah.
a beach vacation in the desert?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't really have a take on it. Like, it's just dumb. It was- I was gonna do the opposite, but I was like, whatever. Like, why would you need to prioritize like you need pasta and wine if you're
Yeah.
gonna do an Italian restaurant? Bare minimum. Like, you can be
Yeah.
all fancy and chefy all you want, but at the bare minimum you need those two things to be
The
successful.
3 things that were saved in World War II, before the Allied troops started invading and taking over, the fascists in Italy were saving Parmesan Reggiano, pasta, and wine.
Mm-hmm.
Smart
So
move.
if it's that important in wartime to save that stuff, guess what? In your restaurant war, you might want to save it.
Yeah. Those fascists told the David to go suck it, and they fucking took in parm reg, wine, and pasta.
But they only
Suck
took
it.
in red wine. They didn't take in white wine.
Okay, they did the
Oh, really?
DX second
Yeah.
thing.
Well, they did the DX suck it,
Yeah, they did the DX.
and then the United States came in and put them all
Yeah,
in
the United
stutter.
States came in and said, "Looks like you can use a dessert wine because you're finished."
This was weird. I think they hired bad designers because the one designer is like 2 hours late, and the other designer just like needs it's so poorly put together. And I wonder if they were gonna call it Restaurant Wars, but they did so bad that we can't call this Restaurant Wars.
It's too much of a shit show. Yeah, I like the layer of they had their own designer, which they like pitch ideas, or they tell them their concept, and then the designer is supposed to like go and buy some things to like spruce up the place and make it look like whatever the restaurant's supposed to be. As Brian said, one lady showed up way late. She needed help putting together things. Mike didn't know how to put them together. It was a real disaster.
I mean, it was terrible.
It was bad, and that continued. The problems weren't just in the setup of the restaurants. The actual execution was bad too. Let's refer you back to Cliff and Elia fighting over who wanted to be front of house. Well, Cliff won, and he did a real bad job at it.
Which Elia's like, she's like in the back. She's like, "Do you think that bald bastard is doing good in the front?"
There's a couple things I want to note during the actual consumption of food part of this episode is that there's no they really hit home this olive pit thing. There's no little plate to put olive pits in the Italian restaurant, and like they show the customer doing it, and then Padma later finds the pit. It's this fucking pit is everywhere. It's a huge part of the episode, this fucking olive pit.
Can,
Um
can I say something?
yes.
I just want to say when that part happened, I wanted to be, if I was Ilan, I would have been like, have you ever been to Texas Roadhouse where they throw the peanuts on the floor? Just throw it on the floor. Get the fuck out of my face with why is this pit on my table? Because we obviously missed it, okay?
The fucking walls have
Yeah.
curtains because they're not
Yeah.
painted. This is
Exactly.
a garage.
Fucking
I feel like
the
they
roof
could have
gets
just
shot.
lobbed them over since there was no walls holding up anything. Just lob them back out into the street.
I'm sorry that I had 24 hours to put together an entire restaurant
Yeah.
concept and I forgot that a fucking olive pit was on your table. That's my bad.
Another thing I love that Top Chef does in Restaurant Wars is when the judges come in and pretend like there's not a table waiting for them. Gail walks in, she goes, "Oh, there's a 4-top over there." Yeah, of course there is. That is for you.
Literally waiting for you because they can't sit around and wait for a group of people to leave. To be like, okay, now we can shoot.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
table open the entire time, and they're always like, "Oh, look, there's one." I hate it so much, but it's also great. The last thing that what?
I was gonna say I hate at the judges table when they start talking about they did not come talk to us enough. They didn't speak to us. Well, yeah, you make them with a staff of 3 run an entire restaurant in 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
also
think
said they're
that
gonna get a server.
yeah, they didn't really get any of that. I think after this season, I don't know. Oh, we'll have to see it in next season, but I think they realized that 3 people and 1 random designer given to them is not enough to do
Yeah,
restaurant
not
wars. You
nearly
need
enough.
at least 4. A couple other funny things. When Marcel's team comes into the restaurant, he's in the back and he's looking at the kitchen. He opens a lid of something, it falls,
That's right.
collapses into it's like an oven or something like that. And I enjoy watching Marcel drop things. It's just very funny to me. That made me laugh. There's also a scene of Aaliyah and Alon talking in a bedroom, and they're both wearing sunglasses, and I do not understand what was happening.
Well, I can speak on that. Reeves, what happens is when you do graduate to the level of badass, the sun never sets on you. So even indoors, the sun is shining down on you. So you have to wear sunshades or I'm sorry, sunglasses for the layman. Everywhere you go, as soon as you wake up, it's blinding, and so you need to be having some kind of UV protection on.
Okay. Well,
I
that's
learned
news to me.
something.
I learned something too. Wow.
One more thing before we talk about the food, which everyone kind of hated, is I don't know if you guys picked up on this, is that I'm pretty sure that Rachel Dolezal is at the restaurant eating. Did you guys notice her there? I'm showing,
No.
I'm
I-
showing them the thing now.
I did catch that. I didn't know we were going to talk about that considering Black History Month. So, but we're talking about it now. So, Dolezal is there. So now we know she's a plant. She's a Hollywood plant.
Yeah, this is one of those things where we saw her at the BLM rally, but also at the Capitol. She's
Yeah.
clearly been hired by whatever his name is.
Like back when black people were like saying she's trying to play both sides, and you guys were white people were like, no, she's not. Well, clearly she is because she was at the Capitol and she was at the Black Lives Matter protest. So
But just look for Rachel Dolezal in the restaurant thing. It's sometime in when they're eating, and you'll see Rachel Dolezal there. Okay, should we get to the judges table?
Yeah,
please.
let's jump into it. Just one last piece. I don't know if we hit this, but Marcel's team was going to do Mediterranean, and they did a little 180 and went with a diner concept. So like burgers and stuff like that, which
which is perfect for a restaurant.
The world's best burger, they call it.
People got to stop doing that. Stop putting on your restaurant world's best burger. Doesn't exist.
And I also thought that their dessert, I thought their food sounded really good. That like coffee barbecue chicken wing sounds like something that I would order. It apparently was undercooked. Apparently Marcel didn't cook the chicken all the way, which is my biggest fear with wings, is that I'll undercook them. I'm eating raw wings. Don't want to do it. So I get it. I thought the dessert for Marcel's team sounded good. That Oreo lemon thing sounded
I would have
good.
eaten it. Yeah, it looked good. I think Padma didn't like it.
Well, she
They
was
like-
already put off because of the olive pit. So
Yeah, she was pissed about that olive pit.
She let it ruin her night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Tom kept
Well,
nudging her
no,
with his
Tom kept
elbow,
saying-
being like, come on, let's rally.
yeah. He was like, you can't let this ruin your night.
Yeah,
She's
it's like,
I
come on.
can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah, Tom kept saying, I get one night a week to come out, to have a meal. Don't ruin this night. Don't ruin tonight, please.
One night. with-
I was
All
like,
I'm asking for is one night a week.
I just want to go home. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You have to do your job. You have to eat these. She's like, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm gonna go sit in the car.
the server comes back. I was like, I thought there was 3 here. They're like, well, no, she wasn't feeling well. Padma wasn't feeling well.
Yeah. Tom's like, are you sure you don't have any wine? I could really use a drink.
I
And then
also
he's
love when they were
Restaurant and gets a beer.
yeah, when they were buying, when Marcel's team was buying, they were like, let's get beer and root beer, which is 2 fine choices for drinks. That's fine. When the server asked them what they wanted, he says, you can have beer or root beer floats.
I really hope it was a root beer float. People just eating a normal dinner and their drink to go along with it. No water, no anything else. A
Root beer float. There
It's
you go.
soda and ice cream. One of the God, this is a pretty good episode. I didn't like to not talk about it. It's great. One of the like guests was like riding their car, and they're like, it's like the chef was on crack, which is
Yeah.
crazy
And-
about La
and-
La Lina.
The thing I hate about that is that they then cut right to Cliff.
Do they?
Yeah, when he goes, the chef was on crack, and then cut to Cliff, and Cliff does like one of those like looks almost at the camera, and I was like, oh, come on, let's be better, Bravo.
Cliff
Because
wasn't even in the kitchen.
I know that's not even his restaurant.
Camera, and he just kind of like nodded a little bit.
Judges table. They hated everything. They thought that the ambiances were bad for both restaurants. They thought the concepts were bad for best restaurants. They thought that Cliff and Elon were both terrible front of house people.
Yeah, and Cliff stood his ground. He's like, you're just saying that. You wouldn't say that if I wasn't bold.
Mhm.
And Alon's like, well, I'm here, and I'm getting the same review.
I'm
He's like,
thinking
it's different. You don't know what it's like.
you aren't allowed to question my experience with the same notes. That's true. You can't do that. They hated the desserts for both restaurants, and as they should with La La Lina, because their dessert apparently was cubes of watermelon with heavy cream and cheese on top of them, and they had the audacity to call this watermelon gnocchi. It's watermelon yucky is what it is. Watermelon cream and cheese? That's watermelon yucky.
Yeah.
All
Why
right.
didn't Tom come up with that?
Why did no one say watermelon yucky?
It looked very yucky. I liked Sam because he like talked about, I guess, like at his previous restaurant, he'd like experimented with it, and I guess he liked it, and he is the only person that liked it because when they called him out and they were like, what was this piece of shit that you made us eat? And he was just kinda like, yeah, it's great, right? And they're like, no, it was watermelon with gorgonzola on it. He's like, but it kind of looked like gnocchi, right? And they were like, who gives a shit? It tasted terrible.
He's like, but did you picture gnocchi?
Yeah.
Which I can't blame Sam because you guys stick to your guns, and he did it all for the gnocchi. So
Yes, frickin' Limp Biscuit.
Trying to think of a fun transition from Limp Bizkit to this.
Well, the judges really wanted to break stuff, so they rearranged the room.
The judges had to have faith, George Michaels, that someone would win, but they were wrong because nobody wins. And they do it in the most funny way they can, is that Padma pulls back the team of La La Lina, and she says, The first thing I have to tell you is that you did not win.
Yeah.
I don't want you to get excited, okay? I
It
want
was
you
like
to
she's
go
still
up
mad
front
about that
pissed.
outfit.
Yeah.
She is. She's
I
very
didn't eat
mad about
dinner.
the outfit.
I didn't eat dinner. I didn't eat any of this stuff. They just showed me pictures
Yeah.
once they got back to the car.
Yeah. And
And-
then the other judges immediately brought up, why was there no wine? Where's the wine? Where's the wine? You're doing an Italian restaurant.
I love their explanation, and somehow they get mad at Mike over this. It's because Sam and Elon run out of money to buy wine, and so then they're like, "Okay, well, why didn't you? How much? I don't know. I don't know how it gets to Mike, but eventually they're mad at Mike for not spending all of his money because of the pit thing. They were like, "Why didn't you buy a pit plate?" And he's like, "I didn't want to buy a pit plate. He had like $100 left over." I think they were just mad that he pocketed $100. Tom's like, "That's my money."
There was that edit where it was like Tom was like, "Where's the money?" And Mike was like, "I spent it, dude. I
Oh, I knew I had to give that back.
my money. You spent my money, and I didn't see it." He was
Yeah.
like, "I'm sorry, bro." And
Tom
so it
was
was like
living
he gotten into his
Yeah.
radar, which is bad news.
He's
'Cause
like, "What'd
that
you even buy with it? What'd you even get with $100?"
It's like I got like some beer, a couple of Cracker Jack boxes. It's like I got one of those games where it's like a stick and there's like a string with a ball. I can't get the ball in there, man. Maybe one of you guys can do it.
And the rest of it, I just
Yeah.
lost the rest of it.
Yeah, and then I lost the rest of it. I was doing one ride on like the little horsey thing outside front, and then all the money just fell out of my pocket. I don't know where it went.
But had I known I had to give it back, I wouldn't have done that stuff.
He always does look like he is on the verge of falling over.
His face is still fucked up from his tooth too. He still has like a nice big barbecue stain on the side of his mouth from getting his wisdom tooth removed. Then they pull back the other team. They tell them that they didn't win either, and that nobody wins, but that somebody is going home. They really beat this team down. There's this funny interaction where like Marcel's like, "I did the chicken," and Cliff's like, you didn't do the sauce. And it's just like really weird. And it's like, you guys are fighting over food that they fucking hate it. Like, let Marcel take this L. Like, they hated the chicken. They'll be like, "Well, I made the sauce." And they finally figure out who did what. And they're just like, "Well, the chicken sucked as a whole. The whole thing was bad."
And Cliff is like, thank God I was up front.
So then more stuff happens with them. They ask Cliff if he should go home. Cliff says no, he should not go home. They say, "Who should go home?" And Cliff says, "Pick one of them."
Yeah.
Doesn't care who it is. So
Pick one of the people with hair.
Very, very funny. Then they do a fun little thing where they bring everybody out and they like one by one, they're like, "Elia, you did something, you're safe." Probably because she hasn't got her second foot scene out yet. Foot freaks, we're calling you out, friends. Alon is safe for being Alon. Marcel is safe for doing a lot. He kind of did a lot on his side. They're all allowed to leave. The final three are there that are Cliff.
Cliff, much like the Civil War soldiers, is granted his freedom for fighting in the war.
He's right. He's not sent home. They sent home Mike. Mike's got to go bye-byes. And it's because they said that he felt like the other team was the whole team was carrying Mike, which I didn't get from the judges' deliberation with him. So I'm wondering where they got that from.
So I think it was edited out maybe, but I've mentioned this before, but I feel strongly that Tom gets people in his sights early on that he's like, I don't think this person is good enough, or I'll let them stay for a little bit, but I'm going to get rid of them. And I think he had marked Mike very early on that he was like, any chance I get, I'm getting rid of you. And he basically called him out and said, like, I think people we've done all these team challenges and you've been carried by other people. So.
Yeah. I think if you think about it, they kind of did Restaurant Wars back to back because the last episode they had to form teams and make a meal restaurant basically serving people. And remember when Tom and the judges was like, our Mike did this? Our Mike made this? I kind of feel like they wanted him out then.
Yeah.
Which was like, then he stayed and he was like, okay, well, let's do another restaurant type thing.
Let's just do it again. Make sure he doesn't have his drugs because he's, I guess, he's like one of those like tortured artists that does very well on drugs, but as soon as he gets off it, his art suffers.
Yeah.
Well, that's why Tom was worried that he pocketed that $100. He's afraid he went out and bought Vicodin with it, so he'd do good. Like, all right, you didn't buy Vicodin? Okay, cool. Whatever.
Yeah, we're getting rid of your ass.
Do you want to hear Mikey go bye-bye?
Let's hear Mikey go bye-bye.
Michael, you go to the store and you come back with almost a quarter of your budget. So that's a lot of money. And I'm just getting a sense that your teammates are carrying you. You're not putting it out there. We had a decision to make, and I believe it's the right one.
Michael, please pack your knives and go.
All right. It's been fun. It's been fun having you. And it's been real, man.
Take care, Michael.
I will. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you all.
It's my time.
Oh, Mike.
See you guys later, man. It's been fun, bro.
It's been a pleasure meeting you, dude.
I don't have any regrets, man. Had some good times, some great experiences, made some crazy dishes I would never make. Almost made it all the way to the end and I'm kind of like a really humble guy, you know, like, Charlotte's Web, that pig, you know. Just if they learned anything from me, I hope they learn to take just a laid-back approach. It's cool to stay cool, you know.
I love that.
That's the best exit ever on the show.
I just want to point out, I love that he says, if they learned anything from me. He didn't say what he may have learned from the competition. He said, if they learned anything from me, it's cool to stay cool.
It's cool to stay cool is such a great line.
Mm-hmm.
He also gets that Charlotte's Web reference in there, which is just insane. That's
like,
what
I
he
didn't
chose to say.
I didn't read it because I don't know the name of the pig. But I'm like that pig, right? Some pig.
There's also this weird edit, like where Padma says his name. She's like Michael, and they cut whatever. Like either she was just like Michael Packer Knives, like said it really fast, or she was just like. But it's such an awkward. It's like I edited that episode. It's so bad. So Mikey's gone, and we're gonna miss him.
Yeah, I'll miss him.
Mikey's gone.
What's that?
Did we both just say Mikey's gone?
Did we? Yeah.
Oh wow,
I said it.
We both were we said Mikey instead of Mike. Wow.
Mikey time. Well, he gets all the Mikey time he wants now because he's freaking fired. He's got to go back to his job at Fridays.
If they'll have him. If they'll have him back.
If they will take him back.
I'll be back on schedule for 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take it easy. Just kind of work like on maybe Thursdays.
I like one from the show. I still got like $15 left from the $100.
That's what. I don't have to rush back to work.
Yeah.
I thought you lost that.
I got $15 for free. I'm gonna live like a king for a week, man.
It did feel like when he was, they have the sequence where they're actually packing their knives and leaving. It felt like he should have had his knife bag and then also like a 6-pack or like, a 24-pack over his shoulder or something like that. Felt like that would have been appropriate.
He gets on his longboard and just takes off. All right, everybody, stay cool.
Stay cool, guys.
I'm gonna miss him. And then next week is the fucking episode, you guys.
Yeah. Oof, boy. Next week is going to be a real doozy.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do a doozy on next week, y'all.
Well, I don't know if it will beat this episode because this episode is my favorite episode, but I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I'll be really interested to see if next episode is your favorite episode too.
Yeah,
Doubtful.
that might say something about you.
Yeah, doubtful. We'll see.
Doubtful. Because you like this one so much. Okay, well, that's the episode. Any other final thoughts, guys?
Just remember that it's cool to stay cool, everyone.
Yeah, please stay cool because it's cool to do that.
It's cool to stay cool. All right. So for the Pod Chef family, we are packing our knives.